Good evening, and welcome to Good Friday with the First Parish in Lincoln. Welcome to a service that begins in candlelight and ends in darkness. Welcome to an hour that reaches the lofty heights of song and poetry and ends in silence. Welcome to a story of Jesus' betrayal, his suffering, his sense of abandonment, and his death that poses many questions as it unfolds and leaves us with no answers. And yet in those questions and in the space we make gathered around them, how much feeling, how much connection to the world as we know it today. How much truth. I want to extend a special thank you to our many readers tonight, to our choir, our soloist Ann Moss, to our music director Miranda, who's braving a cold. And I want to welcome visitors from all places, especially our friends from the First Parish in Concord. This is our second year of sharing Holy Week between our two historic congregations. Whatever your spiritual background, whether Good Friday has always been important to you, whether you're here tonight to figure out exactly what it might mean, you are most welcome here. And in the music and the readings and the silence that we will share together, we hope that your spirit is fed in just the way that you need it. I would invite us all now to rise in body or spirit as we join our voices in our opening words. The Good Fridays of our lives come unbidden and unexpected, bringing the winter of despair and the death of dreams and hope. Only love has the power to mend what has been broken. A love that brings healing to our wounds. A love that offers hope when we have none. A love that creates unity where there is conflict. A love that instills new life into lifeless husks. O love, hear us when we cry, my God, why have you forsaken me?
Good evening, friends. Let us join together in prayer. Spirit of life and love, be with us this dark night. We come together on this Good Friday to remember Jesus' tragic yet transformative suffering and death. We too feel forsaken, abandoned, but we are not. Spirit, let us bring our sorrows, our failings, our confusion, and our pain here, and know that these burdens will never be too heavy for your arms. Let us remember that we are here together tonight, that all that spills from our hearts brings us closer, and will never separate us from the love and support of our beloved church family right here, or from our sacred human family spread all around our world.
Jesus prays in Gethsemane. They went to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took with him Peter and James and John and began to be distressed and agitated. And he said to them, "I am deeply grieved, even to death. Remain here and keep awake." And going a little farther, he threw himself on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. He said, "Abba, Father, for you all things are possible. Remove this cup from me, yet not what I want, but what you want." He came and found them sleeping, and he said to Peter, "Simon, are you asleep? Could you not keep awake 1 hour?"
This poem is about the difficulty of religious beliefs and concerned with the personal salvation in an age of uncertainty. T.S. Eliot's poetic persona, one who has lacked faith in the past, has somehow found the courage through spiritual exhaustion to seek faith. Because I know that time is always time, and place is always and only place, and what is actual only for one time, and only for one place. I rejoice that things are as they are, and I renounce the blessed face, and renounce the voice, because I cannot hope to turn again. Consequently, I rejoice having to construct something upon which to rejoice. And pray to God to have mercy upon us, and I pray that I may forget these matters that with myself I too much discuss, too much explain, because I do not hope to turn again. Let these words answer, for what is done, not to be done again. May the judgment not be too heavy upon us. Because these wings are no longer wings to fly, but merely vans to beat the air which is now thoroughly small and dry, smaller and drier than the will. Teach us to care and not to care. Teach us to sit still.
the betrayal and arrest of Jesus. Jesus went out with his disciples to a place where there was a garden. Now Judas, who had betrayed him, also knew the place. So Judas brought a detachment of soldiers together with police from the chief priests and the Pharisees. And they came there with lanterns and torches and weapons. Then Jesus, knowing all that was to happen to him, came forward and asked them, "For whom are you looking?" They answered, "Jesus of Nazareth." Jesus replied, "I am he." Then they arrested Jesus and bound him. Simon Peter and another disciple followed Jesus, but Peter was standing outside at the gate. The woman who guarded the gate said to Peter, "You are not also one of this man's disciples, are you?" He said, "I am not." Now the slaves and the police had made a charcoal fire because it was cold, and they were standing round it and warming themselves. Peter also was standing with them and warming himself. They asked him, "You are not also one of his disciples, are you?" He denied it and said, "I am not." One of the slaves of the high priest asked, "Did I not see you in the garden with him?" And again, Peter denied it. And at that moment, the cock crowed.
Will There Really Be a Morning by Emily Dickinson. Will there really be a morning? Is there such a thing as day? Could I see it from the mountains if I were as tall as they? Has it feet like water lilies? Has it feathers like a bird? Is it brought from famous countries of which I have never heard? Oh, some scholar, oh, some sailor, oh, some wise man from the skies, please to tell a little pilgrim where the place called morning lies.
The trial of Jesus before Pilate. Then they took Jesus to Pilate's headquarters. It was early in the morning. Pilate went out to them and said, "What accusation do you bring against this man?" Then Pilate summoned Jesus and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not from this world. If my kingdom were from this world, my followers would be fighting to keep me from being handed over. But as it is, my kingdom is not from here." Pilate asked him, "So you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice." Pilate asked him, "What is truth?"
Won't You Celebrate With Me by Lucille Clifton. Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into, a kind of life I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed.
Jesus is condemned to death. Pilate told them, "I find no case against him, but you have a custom that I release someone for you at the Passover. Do you want me to release for you the King of the Jews?" They shouted in reply, not this man, but Barabbas." Now, Barabbas was a bandit. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged, and the soldiers wove a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they dressed him in a purple robe. They kept coming up to him saying, "Hail, King of the Jews," and striking him in the face. Pilate went out again and said to them, "Look, I am bringing him out to you to let you know that I find no case against him." So Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. Pilate said to them, "Here is the man." When the chief priests and the police saw him, they shouted, "Crucify him! Crucify him!"
Rain, Light by W.S. Merwin. All day the stars watch from long ago. My mother said, "I am going now." When you are alone, you will be all right. Whether or not you know, you will know. Look at the old house in the dawn rain. All the flowers are forms of water. The sun reminds them through a white cloud, touches the patchwork spread on the hill, the washed colors of the afterlife that lived there long before you were born. See how they wake without a question, even though the whole world is burning.
Jesus calls forth beloved community. So they took Jesus, and carrying the cross by himself, he went out to what is called the place of the skull, which in Hebrew is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and him with 2 others, one on either side, with Jesus between them.
Meanwhile, standing near the cross of Jesus was his mother and his mother's sister, Mary of Clopas, and Mary of Magdalene.
When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing beside her, he said to his mother, "Woman, here is your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Here is your mother." And from that hour the disciple took her into his own home.
Paul Robeson by Gwendolyn Brooks. That time we all heard it, cool and clear, cutting across the hot grit of the day. The major voice, the adult voice, foregoing rolling river, foregoing tearful tale of bale and barge and other symptoms of an old despond. Warning in the music words, devout and large, that we are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond.
Jesus dies. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of those standing there heard this, they said, he's calling Elijah. Immediately, one of them ran and got a sponge. He filled it with wine vinegar, put it on a staff, and offered it to Jesus to drink. The rest said, now leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to save him. And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open.
In Blackwater Woods by Mary Oliver. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds. And every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this. The fires and the black river of loss whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do 3 things. To love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it. And when the time comes to let it go, to let it go.
Cinnamon and fulfillment.
In just a moment, we will sing the first two verses of our final hymn. We'll hear our final two readings, and then we will sing the last verse of Were You There in Total Darkness. There are no final words to end the service on Good Friday. Where we are left is a place beyond language. When the service concludes, you are invited to remain as long as you'd like in meditation. When you depart, you're invited to do so in silence. And listen now for this blessing. In the shadow of the cross, here at the crossroads of pain and presence, may we go into the stillness of the night holding on to hope. Turned toward the crushed, discouraged, forsaken, and wounded with love, with encouragement, with compassion. And may the tender, vulnerable God who knows the depths of our suffering meet us right there, forever and always. Amen.
Jesus is laid in the tomb. After these things, Joseph of Arimathea, who was a secret disciple of Jesus, came and removed the body. Nicodemus, who had come Jesus by night, who came bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloe. They took the body of Jesus and wrapped it with spices in linen cloths, according to the burial tradition of the Jews. Now there was a garden in the place where he was crucified, and in the garden there was a tomb, a new tomb, in which no one had been laid. And so Jesus was laid there.
Little Prayer by Danez Smith. Let ruin end here. Let him find honey where there once was a slaughter. Let him enter the lion's cage and find a field of lilacs. Let this be the healing, and if not, let it be.